you ready to party? Let's go.
Seth Rosenstein. Seth Rosenstein. Sorry, Rosenstein?
Seth Rosenstein.
We practiced this before we started. I'm so sorry. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks, man.
It is an honor to have you here. And also, so everybody knows, we have the whole crew back.
That's right.
Me, Jordan, Jimmyola. Jordan.
I'll be Jordan from now on.
There's a D on the end of the name.
I know.
Now.
Sorry.
I did change my name.
I know. And then, so you guys know, too, I did order another camera that's going to be on Sam pretty soon. Yeah. So
Sweet.
People are going to see Sam here very soon.
The ratings are going to boost up
it's gonna be
times like
great.
30.
Hey.
Sam actually was nursing a knee injury. He's coming back. He's healing up pretty good, right, Sam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jesus.
Congratulations. That is a hell of a process.
Welcome back, dude.
Thank
Welcome
you, gentlemen.
Well, Seth, back to you, my friend.
Yeah.
My goodness, you came all the way from
Well, where I live now
South
is
Bay?
South Bay.
Just say South Bay.
I was like, originally? Redondo Beach. Yeah.
Cool. How's the traffic coming here?
Not too bad.
We've been away from LA, right? I mean,
Yeah.
End of the day. Speaking
Yeah.
of which, did you see his Jeep? We were just talking about it. He has like what do you call it? Jeep truck?
It's the Gladiator. I've been calling it the Druck.
The Druck.
A lot of it's very polarized.
He had it specially ordered. It's manual.
Oh, you have a manual Gladiator?
Yeah.
Sick.
Freaking sick.
I love it.
Do you do any like off or have you done any off-roading stuff with
A
it
little
yet?
bit. I want to get more into it.
Yeah.
But I used to do things out in the Mojave Desert a lot. So that's kind of the original purpose. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
We're gonna get to that.
they're sick. I was like, I'm actually super excited that you're on. When Tim was talking to me about who's coming on,
Thanks,
I was
man. Yeah.
What?
I'm so excited to be here, man.
Yeah,
This
dude.
is awesome.
So I met Seth through Kim. It's Kish, right? I always figure why do I have such a problem with people's
Kish?
bad their
Shout
last
out.
names? Yeah, Kim, the pilot. Kim,
Yep.
thank you so much. You have some of the greatest
Hey, Kim.
friends. But yeah, we were in Hermosa Beach.
Yeah.
I was over there. I got done. I was like, hey, because we just got all our merch and stuff. So I wanted to drop it off to her because she was in LA for a little bit.
Okay.
She's like, with friends. I'm like, cool. I'm just going to drop it off. Ended up staying and having breakfast and just hanging with her. All super cool people.
Sick.
All of them, dude.
Thanks,
I
man.
loved them. Yeah, I was like, these are my people. They're like super intelligent. I was like,
She was a pretty solid person, so I feel like
Yeah.
she probably doesn't hang with not similar people, but that's rad.
yeah, it was
Well,
super cool. Super,
It's small world stuff,
dude,
Right?
super
Cool.
small world. So, to get right into this, let's start. You kind of work on, let's just say jet propulsion. Is that the best way to put it?
Rocket propulsion.
Rocket propulsion. Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking to a guy who puts water on fire.
It's all good, man.
I'm sorry. Okay, so rocket propulsion.
Yeah.
Now, what got you into that?
That's a good question. It's weird. I don't really remember like not being into it, which is crazy.
So
but I
like,
think
even in high school and stuff?
way before.
Oh, even before that.
Yeah. So there's this like pinnacle moment. If you guys seen the movie Inside Out, where you're like core memory. It's like it was like
Good
that,
reference.
and I think back on that moment, probably an outrageous amount, but it's I was 7 years old, sitting in front of the TV, watching old NASA footage of the moon landing. So my birthday is on July 28th, and the moon landing is on July 20th. And so when you're young, super impressionable, you're thinking like, oh, like, yeah, like always around your birthday is like, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and like there would always be like the week before the birthday, it would always be like, oh, that's the NASA week. Like I always got so amped because I was like, oh, I get to watch like all my favorite stuff. And then I get to go have my birthday. And like as a kid, it was like very intertwined.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But the specific memory is I was like 7 years old. I was watching all of this old vintage NASA stuff on like History Channel when they did history.
Yeah.
And
Good point.
I just remember looking back at my parents who were just on the couch and just looking at them and said, I want to do that.
Wow.
And here I am.
Dude.
It's like a super like Disney like crazy kind of story, right? But yeah.
To get to that point, though, I mean, okay, is it an engineering degree that you got? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it like a special certain type of engineering, or you just went to college? I got an engineering degree. Let's go into rocket propulsion.
Great question. So I went to school with Kim at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which is an outrageously long name. But the school is pretty much just pilots, engineers, but there's also a whole business aspect to the school and all that great stuff. What I did, the full degrees that I have an undergrad in aerospace engineering with minors in applied mathematics and space studies, and then I have a dual master's in mechanical engineering and an MBA.
I was going to say, ring that bell, bro. Ring that bell.
I have a very serious question to ask you.
Yeah.
How does it feel to probably normally be the smartest person in the room?
That's not true.
Yeah.
My mom actually calls me the smartest dumbass she knows. So, no, with love.
Of course, it's Mom, it's all
God bless your
acceptable.
mom. They mean well.
I love her. I do. But no, the industry is so, in like what I do, it's just I'm surrounded by everyone who does the same thing and like nothing else. Like there's a lot of engineers that like their entire personality is like what they do at work. And like, that's not me. I have a lot of other hobbies and interests and all that good stuff. But yeah.
So you're able to turn it, but you're able to turn it off a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like some people, and like I'm sure with every profession, I mean, I'm sure Tim and I can come up with 20 people we could think of that are that person at work and at home, the same. You know? But I think that's super healthy to be able to like turn it off a little bit. But then I also think too, it's like that like, what jumps out to me is those movies when like, you know, I don't want to say like Rain Man, but like when they're crunching numbers like in their head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then all the things in the background.
That's
like, you
me
know,
all day.
Hangover,
No, I'm kidding. I just see numbers going down.
I always think of the movie The Hangover when they're like trying to run the blackjack table and in the background all the numbers are going down. Yeah. Anyway.
No, it's funny you say that because I don't think I'm the smartest person in the room. Like I've been doing this since I went to school in 2012. And you do anything for 10 years and like you'll get good at it, you know? Or I hope you will. And or hope you find enjoyment in the thing that you're doing regardless, right? And so I feel like there's always so much to learn just in the industry, but also like I can't walk into like a marketing like business room and be like, oh, this is what's happening. I don't know.
Well,
like,
you're specialized to the industry you work.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You know, and for 10 years, I mean, I'd definitely say you have a certain amount of passion to get you that
For sure.
far.
Yeah.
No, it's just not. I mean, obviously, you work around people like you're saying. Everyone has kind of like similar interest or like knowledge base, depth, schooling, everything they've gone through. It's just I don't know anyone in that. Well, now I do.
Yeah, now you do,
but
man.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, so when you hear that, I think it's really like most people are like, holy shit, that's insane. You know?
Thanks, man.
It's
Appreciate it.
right.
It's fascinating.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like after I met him, we ended up. I think we hung out for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. We just like kept going.
Yeah, because I was so interested. You know, it's kind of like you said. I'm like, dude, I actually know somebody. Like, this guy's really intelligent. He's humble.
Thanks,
nice
man.
dude. Like, Kim's awesome. All your friends that were at that table were really good people. That's why when like we got done eating like brunch or whatever,
Yeah.
or was it lunch? I was like, you guys want to go to a bar and just talk? We're gonna go to some
totally.
bar
And we were
down the
like,
street.
yep.
Yeah, it's like, I'm buying beer. Let's just chat. And there's another. God, what's the other guy's name? He's a really nice guy.
Paul.
Yeah. Yes, Paul.
Absolutely.
Paul's another.
He says hi, by the way.
Oh, dude, Paul.
Yeah.
What up, G? You're coming on next, bro. But yeah, talking with you guys was really fascinating because you're seeing like because we see all the stuff with SpaceX and how space and all that's starting to push really far forward and kind of the forefront of everything we're doing now. So to know and meet somebody who's kind of in that, you're like, whoa, like how'd you get in there, dude? Speaking of which, like, how much math did you have to take in college?
So it's actually funny.
I'm terrible at math, dude. That's why I'm like, how
I used to be very bad at math.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was getting D's in algebra, and like I was flunking out of like granted for like freshman algebra, and I just started going to a math tutor, and I did a math tutor for. I went to a math tutor for all through high school, and then even my first 2 years of college.
Oh wow.
Same math tutor and like would telework, I guess. But that's because I used to be a math tutor just on the side. When I was in college, just make some extra cash kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I also just like really love teaching and all that. But I I always would tell my students, like, I was bad at this.
Yeah.
Like, I am a success story. I still don't know everything. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I'm sitting here teaching you this now.
Right.
You can do it.
Well, it's because you put in the work. You knew
Yeah.
it was something that was kind of a weakness, right? Which is, so you got a tutor and you worked on your weakness, right? It's not, you're pretty much what you're showing everybody or telling us. It's like, hey, it's not like this was handed to me. I still had to work my butt off to get where I wanted to go. Wasn't good at math, so I did what I had to do. I got tutors, did everything I had to do. I mean, kudos to you, dude. I hate
Thanks,
math.
man.
Yeah, I was like, I barely passed, dude. I left it at that.
Yeah, I have college algebra. I got through it. I'm pretty.
If you ever need any math help, man, let me know.
I got it. I actually, when we start talking about math, and the first thing that popped up in my head, it's like, how do you feel about Common Core?
Common Core. Oh, like just Common Core math, like taking the general curricular kind of stuff before you get into more intense stuff.
That's a really open-ended question because I don't know a whole lot about it other than one time it was a buddy of mine who brought some like his kids' homework to work to kind of go over it to see because I guess the kid didn't do very well.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Hey, Jordan," he's like, "Look at this shit." And I was like, they were like adding fractions or something, like very, a very basic, type, deal. But the way that they're taught to break it down in that style. So I don't know what the premise is. I'm not going to sit here and I can't shit on it too much. I've just heard a lot of things about it, and it just seems overly confusing.
So I remember what I know what you're talking about. I didn't know it was called Common Core. I think that's maybe, but. Where they teach you kind of a way to do math in a very solving a puzzle kind of way.
Yeah.
And not this is the math way to do it.
Right.
Which has value to it. Like you end up using those puzzle solving skills when you get farther down the road. And it's way easier to teach a kid, you do this number here and you put it on top and then you put this number here and now you've done it. That's obviously going to be easier for a younger kid to conceptualize and understand. Yeah, I mean, I guess those are my thoughts on it.
I just remember seeing the charts, and it took 10 minutes to do one fraction problem. And I was just like, man, I can't wait till my kids. Go to your mom.
Is that why people kind of have such a I don't know if uproars or there's such kind of a people are against Common Core right now? Is that because it's so different? It's almost like a longer way of solving a math problem.
Yeah.
Which is not needed pretty much.
So it was kind of one of those things. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago where I felt like there was a little uproar and it's like.
It's math with extra steps.
You're like, okay, let's complicate this a little bit more.
It's like, why do we have to do that? No. It's I don't know too much about it.
Oh,
but
you're not on the spot, bro. I just wanted an actual smart person's opinion. I really just wanted you to say Common Core is a waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
Next
Common Core is
question.
a waste of time. I have 5,000 degrees, so I am an expert on that.
I know that much.
5,000 math degrees. I build rockets.
But to answer your original question about how much math I took.
Yeah.
I went up to, so you do, in college, you do, I did, Calc 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And then you go into differential equations. And then there's a class that I took that the school, they call it something different everywhere, but it's called Mathematical Methods of Physics and Flight. So it's it's geared toward the aerospace realm of things, but it's applying basic mathematical, these mathematical principles you learn in Calc 1, 2, 3, Diff EQ to these more inherently specific situations that have actual things happening in them.
Right,
there's a plane flying, or there's you're analyzing the structural component of this. And then I took another class in my master's that was essentially the hand math of how, whenever you see those fancy documentaries and they're like, this is someone working on a computer, solving a mathematical problem on the computer, and there's all these different squares over a solid body.
Yeah.
It's the hand math behind that. But the computer does it for all of those different entities that you see, those little squares. The computer does it simultaneously, right? Because it's like a computer, right? But I can't sit here and solve 12,000 little squares. That's insane. But I was learned. I was taught. I was taught how the basis of all of that works. Yeah. So then I could go sit at a computer and be like, oh, I just have to apply these boundary conditions and like press run, and I understand what's happening.
Right. And that's why I think what you do is so fascinating, at least from, I would say, my standpoint, our standpoint, because I've watched quite a few documentaries in space, of course, and I didn't realize how much math went into landing on the moon to, us eventually going to Mars. It's incredible. The rotation of the Earth on its axis and all this other stuff.
Orbital mechanics is a rabbit hole.
Yeah. And then there was a picture of a young lady who did the math behind the lunar module landing on the moon. Did you see that?
I know what photo you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, this is the equation to get to the moon.
Yeah.
The book was like as tall as her.
All the code. All the code.
Incredible.
It's handwritten.
But I think what I love about that is it takes people with those types of minds to push us into the future.
Totally.
You have to have that. Yeah. Now, I ain't going to be pushing us into the future.
That's not true.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Not scientific.
Yeah, no.
But if you can inspire someone...
I was just going to say, I was like...
And that's what you guys are doing here, you know?
We try.
Get more people to get inspired to do the things they want to do.
Right?
You know?
Dude, my man knows what's up, dude.
Hey, thanks, dude. That was super kind. Ring a bell.
Dude, he's coming on a second time. Yeah, well, the math,
that'd be great.
I don't think people understand the amount of work it takes to go into space.
So there's some... Do you want to hear some crazy space statistics?
Yes.
Hi, listeners. Welcome to Space Talk. No. So like some crazy things like, do you guys know what the Saturn V moon rocket is? It's the largest rocket that we've ever made. It's flew humans to the moon back in 1969 when we landed on the moon, and flew missions through 1972. It is like, it's hard to conceptualize the engineering that went into something with no computers. No computers, all hand.
Yeah.
We're talking like, if I need to edit a drawing, for example, when I'm at work, I go into my computer, I look it up, I do a couple keystrokes, I edit it, it's good to go, right? But they're like, new piece of paper. All right, we either have to erase this or we have to make a completely new one. It's the process is obviously far more time consuming, but the actual it blows my mind, and I do it. So like the Saturn V moon rocket, it has 5 engines on the first stage. The first stage is the thing that lights on the launch pad to get you off the ground. It's meant to be very powerful, but not very efficient, because you just need as much power to get to a higher altitude where the air is thinner, the gravity is less, and you can separate, go to second stage, keep going. The first stage, 5 engines. One of those engines has had 1.5 million pounds of thrust.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Which, yeah. So, which is outrageous.
They put dudes on the tip end.
And they were like, let's put people on this. The whole rocket
I'll do it.
was equivalent to 1/16 the power of an atomic bomb.
Oh my God.
And they were just like, throw them on there. When I don't know if this statistics is quite right, but I read this somewhere and I'm not surprised by it. So fact check me on it. But one of those engines, when lit for 1 minute, produced enough energy to power the city of Chicago for 16 minutes. That's like the amount of raw energy.
Is incredible.
The first stage, and there's 5 of these engines.
5 of them.
Yeah. So the first stage would burn an Olympic-sized swimming pool of fuel every minute.
Oh, jeez. I guess you're right.
Nuts.
That is... how big is the tank? Like for the...
Huge. I mean...
It's got to be just ginormous, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it's like... You stand, because they have it on its side and down at Cape Canaveral and over in Houston. I actually just got back from Houston a couple weeks ago, and I nerded out when I was there. I went over to NASA. Got a couple friends that work there in mission control, so I was just going to visit them.
That's cool.
But it's still, every time I like see it in person, you're like, it's the Statue of Liberty moving.
Yeah.
Like that's
how big.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sorry, I don't know these things.
No, you're good.
No, it's blowing my mind right now.
It's crazy.
I just picture the Statue of Liberty holding, just launching off the ground.
Yeah, literally. It's taller than the Statue of Liberty by a little bit. God. But this was back in the 60s, right? So
I mean, like,
on paper, no computer.
How does that go down? Like in the morning, like before launch, there's like a team of dudes or whatever, a team just getting ready to go over the numbers, and they're just like smoking cigarettes and drinking black coffee, and they're like, "Hey, Bob, are you good with these?" And he's like,
I don't know.
"Let's do it. Kennedy wants us shit in the air. We gotta go." You know,
We choose to go to the moon.
yeah, that's so
So-
crazy.
Something to touch on kind of what you said earlier with the concept of like how absolutely outrageous that is. So there's this mentality that I've tried to live my life by, for the most part. I try. That's called Moonshot Thinking. I don't know have you heard of this?
No, I have not. Not
Have
at
you?
all.
I have not.
Okay, no worries.
PR stuff.
So this is not like a newer concept. I didn't make this up. May the record reflect. You can look it up on YouTube. There's a million videos about moonshot thinking. But the concept bases from JFK's speech, "We choose to go to the moon." And everyone knows the part where he says, "We choose to go to the moon because it's hard." Right? That's the first part of the speech. But a lot of people forget the second part of the speech where he goes on to say, "And we don't know how to do it yet." And that to me is far more profound
Yeah.
than the whole, "Yeah, this is really hard and we're going to do it." You could sit here all day and say, "This is a hard thing, but we're going to figure it out." But then to follow it up, speaking in front of a country, speaking in front of the world, and say, "We don't know how to do this yet, but we're going to do it anyway," that's insanely motivating.
Bro, how much more American can you get, though?
It's crazy. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. But the moonshot thinking is the concept of like looking at a problem that you would normally be like, I'm just not going to think about this. And just choosing to think about it.
Yeah.
You know, like Elon Musk deciding to land rockets in addition to launch them.
Bro, when
no one had done that. And then he did it. And everyone told him it wasn't possible. And then he did it.
Yeah, Seth, when I first saw that, I honestly thought it was somebody had edited video. It was fake.
Yeah. I was there.
I didn't believe it. I was like, what in the world is happening right now? It's incredible to watch that.
I tailgated that launch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got to see it happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was there for the first Falcon Heavy launch too, and I saw both the boosters come in and land simultaneously, which was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You hear both the sonic booms as it comes in.
Yeah, so like,
it's nuts.
is everything going to be Skynet? Or where are we going with this?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
We're all doomed. No, it's really crazy, right? It's like inspiring, and it's the aerospace industry isn't the only industry doing these things, right? It's very relatable to the aerospace industry because you can say sky's the limit. No, it's not, right?
Yeah.
But like it's so much more than that. There's so many people in so many other industries that are pushing that boundary and doing that moonshot thinking, even though if they don't know that they're doing it, right?
Right.
I just find that very inspiring.
Oh, no,
you know?
dude, absolutely. I mean, whoever would have thought that we would watch rockets that were launched into space land themselves on landing pads that are in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the math behind that,
Oh, it's a controls nightmare.
I can't even imagine the stress that Elon Musk was under when I've been watching. There's a documentary. I'm trying to figure out if it's
Is it called Return to Space by Jimmy Chin?
Yes,
I just finished watching it. It's incredible.
dude. It's
where is it?
it's called Return to Space. Is it Amazon Prime or
Netflix, yeah.
Netflix.
Okay.
You see Elon through the beginning stage of him starting SpaceX and the people that believed in him and how they were starting. I mean, it was down to the wire, dude.
Yeah.
They were failing a lot. NASA was watching, dude, and you could. He even said, he's like, I almost had a nervous breakdown. The amount of stress this man was under to make this happen with his team was incredible. And like, what is it? The last possible second, it works.
Yeah.
They get it to work. But it was just, I found myself cheering. I was just like, yeah,
You
Right?
did it?
yeah. I'm like, well, man.
It's like a Cinderella story.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I mean,
but,
he
like,
risked it
with
all.
rockets.
He risked most of his millions.
He was at the point, if I recall, he was at the point where it was like he was putting, like, there was no more funding. Like he was
Right.
putting his own money into it. It was his baby, you know.
Yeah.
But I burped.
Thank you for going away from the mic.
Rip, dude.
Honestly, you should watch the documentary.
Yeah,
It's really
no,
inspiring.
It's
I like all that kind of
amazing.
stuff.
It's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. Now, where did you start your aerospace career? I don't know
So
if you could say where you were.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So
Or-
I can.
Cool, okay.
So my first job out of school, I was actually still in school, as an internship. So I got a job as a guidance, navigation, and control engineering intern at Wallops Flight Facility in Wallops Island, Virginia. I was working on sounding rockets. So they're essentially repurposed missiles, but they put scientific payloads on the top, and they don't stay in space. They go up, they come back down, but it's really cheap because they're just solid rocket motors. There's no real complex, relatively like propulsion system. You light it and it goes, and that was really cool. But I worked on in the payload section. There is a specific guidance, navigation, and control unit that you can program that had actuators on it and had small thrusters on it that would essentially orient the payload when it was in space for its short period of time to do whatever science it had to do. So I was an intern on that. So I was obviously limited as an intern to the things I could do, but I did a lot of really cool stuff looking back on it. I was doing a lot of like electrical engineering stuff, which I didn't really have much experience with at the time, but I was just like, let's figure it out.
How long were you there for?
I was there for 8 months. Yeah. Okay. So it was like a co-op internship thing. So then I worked there. And then I came back to school, finished my undergrad degree, and then went from there and started my master's, did around a year of my master's, and then got another internship at a company called Sierra Nevada Corporation, which is now Sierra Space. They've come off onto their own little entity.
Yeah.
But I was an intern there as well, but a master's student level intern. So I was working with, I ran my own propulsion igniter testing. So it was essentially developing a small rocket engine to light the big rocket engine for the company. And I had a little test cell, and I did that for 8 months or so.
You're an incredible person, dude.
Thanks, man.
So can you like a MacGyver a rocket or something?
If
I mean,
we
like, on the
leave,
fly-
Conceptually, how much money do we have?
if we leave duct tape, a sock, a bale of hay,
Yeah, I was like a
can
toilet
you get
paper
us to
roll.
space?
Could you get it? Yeah.
I could get you a couple 100 feet in the air, maybe.
All right. Hell yeah. So, okay, I always wondered this too. So, from all the places that you've shot rockets out into space,
Yeah.
how does that work with the flight paths of these commercial jetliners? I've always wondered that.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
I
you know
did
that-
research on that.
Okay, so
in
how does
college.
that?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to get clearance, right?
Oh, yeah. Cape Canaveral is a big no flies. Like, don't fly over here zone
Well, what
whenever
about-
there's a launch.
What about like the desert when we got guys out there testing rockets and stuff?
I actually, so like over at White Sands, there's White Sands Missile Range, which does a lot of rocket testing and some rocket launch actually.
Okay.
But it's mainly all DoD military kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like Saturn rocket stuff. It's not orbit, and it's not to orbit. It
Okay.
goes up, comes back down, and the range is big enough so that when it comes back down, it's still on the property of the range.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And so that has its own no-fly zone, like any other normal launch site.
Okay, so when you say no-fly zone, so everybody knows, does that mean people have to go around, or that to be a certain so many feet above the?
You have to go around.
You have to go around. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because
for the most part,
well, I understand like the fly zone, it's like an upside down cake, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it go up?
Yeah.
Okay. Skydive, bro.
exactly.
Nice, Tim.
Where's Kim? Where's Kim?
Yeah, that's the only aeronautical shit I know. So whatever.
But when rocket testing is happening, where you're not actually like the rocket isn't leaving the ground, it's strapped down. There's normally no like crazy flight restrictions unless it's like unless it's something that's like super like the risks are that we might have debris flying hundreds of feet in the air, but that's like pretty rare based off of the way these tests can be set up. Yeah, like a lot of if you ever see videos of rocket engines being tested on their side.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
So there's a ton of SpaceX videos about it, and there's a ton of like orbital ATK videos, and if you just look up rocket engine tests, like you'll find one.
Yeah.
There's multifaceted reason, but it's like if this fails, it's the main explosion is going to go horizontally, not up.
Oh, so that's why they test it on their side.
Sometimes
it don't want it to go
it's also like they do for the larger rocket engines, they have to test pointed down. So there's a big structure that anchors it to the ground over at Marshall in Louisiana.
Okay.
And that's where they tested like the F1 engine for the Saturn V, that engine that we were talking about earlier. They said when they were testing that engine back in the 60s, it would rattle panes of the windows on the houses like miles away. Like things were being knocked off.
So it's
the
anchored
counter.
down, and it's they're lighting it off, facing like going into
Going
the earth.
down. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like, what do they use to anchor that thing? I mean, the amount
That's
of
what I want to know. What
you know,
straps are you using?
A lot of steel.
Oh my god!
A lot of very, very intense steel. The pads that they're like specially designed rated pads for like way more than the amount of thrust that engine is putting out. So it's like built for it essentially. Some of them are built into the sides of mountains because
okay, that makes sense.
It's literally like, what's the best thing to anchor to this? To the earth. How about the earth? Like, you know,
sold.
that's not going to move. So, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's so I've always wondered that because I skydive, of course.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I've always wondered, like, wait a minute, when they shoot rockets off, like, where's the no-fly zone in this?
Yeah.
Because people are in the desert or Cape Canaveral, Florida,
Yeah.
Virginia, all these other places. So I'm sure you still have to get your FAA permissions, right? Apply for maybe permit or something, right?
So there's a lot of testing sites in the U.S. that they get those rights from the FAA to be like, we are a general aerospace test facility. And there's like way more to it. Obviously, a lot more legal jargon and stuff, but we won't go into that. I also don't know all of that. So I'll talk to what I do know, which is essentially it's like we are getting permission to do testing of aerospace components or vehicles or whatnot.
Yeah.
And a lot of these exist already on airports. So pretty much it's like, okay, in the back of the airport, we're blowing up rocket engines, but it's fine because we have the authority to do that. So then it falls to the airport or the entity itself to say, okay, like to approve or deny individual parties from being like, we want to come test here. Okay. So they can just be like, no, you haven't done the proper paperwork. You haven't done the correct risk analysis. We don't feel comfortable as our own private entity that has to answer the FAA.
Okay.
For you, this other private entity to test here. Right.
Okay.
So it's kind of a chain of command of sorts.
Well, that's good that that's all in play because I feel like if you're a pilot, you'd be like, we're staying the hell away from that area.
Hey, Jordan, look at that rocket shooting next to
Oh, shit, Tim, that was pretty close. What do you want for lunch? You're serving fish.
But yeah, so then I did the 8-month internship at Sierra Nevada.
Okay.
I went back to school, finished up
Your master's?
my the dual masters, and then
Dual masters.
Yeah.
Hold on, can we just say that one more time really slow? Because I'm working on my master's right now and I'm dying.
What are you working on?
I believe that's two, Tim.
Yeah, organizational leadership. And there's zero math. Zero math. Throw that out there right now. There's a lot of paper writing and research. You're doing a dual, meaning two
Yeah. So that was
master's degrees.
that was the whole kind of that was the whole gimmick. It was like you can do 2 masters in 3 years. That's the way they got you.
2 in 3 years. Okay. Sam, part of our team here, he's a well-educated man, bachelor's and a master's degree. Sam, you finished your master's.
Yes,
How do you
sir.
feel about someone doing a dual master's degree? Is that respect or what?
Oh my God, I'm tripping out, dude. Yeah, two of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is insane. And then I like it. You said it's a gimmick. They're like, we
We'll
got
get
you.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's so dope.
Now you're roped in. So it was the way it was structured was really interesting. I did only mechanical engineering master's classes for the first year. I didn't do any MBA stuff. And then the second year there's overlap. The second year I finished my mechanical engineering master's and started the MBA. So then on the last year it was only MBA classes. I didn't have any. I technically had already graduated from my mechanical engineering master's in 2020. I had 1 year left, and it was just MBA stuff.
Wow.
So it sounds really very very impressive, but it was really only 1 year, a year and a half.
Don't
of overlap.
undersell yourself here.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
Be proud of that
Appreciate
shit, dude. Yeah. I don't want to be.
I don't know.
I'm pretty fucking smart. Just saying. No,
Thanks, man.
That's really cool. I mean, again, going back to it's just that's something that is a very minute percentage of people are able to accomplish that. So
Thanks.
I mean, honestly, this whole time's kind of been tripping me out because I'm thinking I mean, like, I'm like going through I used to love space stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
And I never pursued it in that way. And so to hear, sit next to you and be like, dude, this is really cool, man. I mean, so many questions.
Yeah.
Dude.
Ask away, man.
Well, I didn't know. How long?
I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. I was like,
Go for it, dude.
Okay, well, the first thing that came to mind is aliens. And I didn't know if we were going to go into that. And I know the Tim's.
I'm an alien. I'm an alien.
I knew it. Yeah. It's all dual masters. You got it done in a year.
I was going to say, he might not be from this earth.
Yeah. No, dude. So, okay. So I don't really know where to start with that.
No worries.
Like, what's your take on it? Believe, not believe?
Have in the aerospace industry, has there been sightings of unexplained objects?
Well, yeah. Do you see the government just came out and confirmed that a couple, like last year? They came out and they were like, yeah, these are unidentified flying objects.
Oh,
they didn't go so far to be like aliens, but
The gimbal video?
they were like, we don't know what these are. Public information. And it was like, whoa,
Man,
I think the question of aliens is like there's so much space in this universe that you look at a star and that's potentially an entire galaxy full of millions, billions, trillions of other stars that have their own planets rotating around them and all that good stuff. It would be, in my opinion, I think it's naive to say that there's nothing else out there. I think that's a bit naive.
I love hearing that.
Thank you. Yes.
It would be like looking at a beach where there's all of those grains of sand and being like, there's no shells in there.
I mean, dude,
right.
you're
dig a foot down. I'm sure there's a shell, Well,
it's a good point. I'll just say this. Look, I was raised in a religious home. I have my own faith. I do believe there's a creator. But to me, when people say there isn't other life forms out there, I'm like, are you going to put God in a box here? I mean, come on. If we have a creator who made all of us,
Totally.
in the universe,
Yeah.
they just don't know. You have no idea.
So I'm with you. I grew up. My mom's Catholic. My dad's Jewish. Very interesting
Dynamic, yes.
Dynamic. It's a lot of guilt. It's just a lot of guilt.
Oh, man, that was good.
But they did a really good job at raising I have a twin brother. My brother and I with both. Like,
Okay.
we were raised both Jewish and Catholic kind of at the same time. We got confirmed, but we also had like an 8th grade graduation party, which was essentially a bar mitzvah and all that good stuff. We went to Jewish summer camp, the same one my dad went to, but we also went to Catholic summer camp sometimes. And I went to Catholic school 1st through 8th grade and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But I think my religious beliefs kind of diverge like from my parents in the way that this is going to sound very pretentious, but I believe a lot in the ways that like how Einstein dealt with religion. Mm-hmm. Einstein was like a super devout Jew.
Yeah.
And he would always say, like, when people asked him, like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you trying to why are you committing your life to what you're doing? And he would always say, his answer was, I'm trying to prove the existence of God. Because if we can explain everything in our universe with relatively simple mathematical and physical equations and understandings, then that has to prove the existence of a creator of some kind. Not to get down this rabbit hole too hard.
You're
but
fine, dude. I love it.
But I think that's a really interesting perspective where you're like mashing religion and science together in a very like unorthodox way, But I think I'm probably more a part of that camp. I'm still figuring it out, I don't really know, but I think there's something happening.
Yeah, I mean, dude. It's one of those things. It's kind of like a journey, right? We're all trying to figure out why we're on this piece of dirt floating through space and time, and what else is out there, and all these millions and billions of galaxies. And it's like, what is the end? I feel Jordan and I have these talks all the time, and Sam, it's like, God, there's got to be more out there, man.
For sure.
To think we're the only living thing, and I don't mean green Martian, you know what I'm saying? But to think we're
I do.
I've
grays.
Greens, grays,
Huge heads, just massive eyes.
And the best example I have is this, and we've talked about it on here, Sam and Jordan. But I'm sure you know this picture called the pale blue dot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That picture gets me emotional every time I see it because, my goodness, it puts things in perspective, right? You see that little ray, and in that ray is that little blue speck. And on that little blue speck that's smaller is us.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking...
Nuts.
Yeah, dude. You think we're the only ones out there? Come on.
Not just us. Everyone, every person that's ever lived or died is in that photo.
Right. So I think that's called, the pale blue dot. If you haven't looked it up, look up the pale blue dot.
It's really
I love looking at that photo because it hits me. It hits me. It gets me very emotional.
Yeah.
You're just like, there's a lot more going on in this life than we know. It makes you just wonder and think like, wow, what is the existence of us, of me? What's going on here?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We're getting existential. I'm here. I'm here for it.
But I think what you said is like you use a term you said as naive. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
Because it puts or putting God in the box.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like no matter what the belief structure is, or if you don't believe in any creator, right, that this happens to be coincidence and just evolutionary theory and timing, and that if you believe that everything, the universe is infinite, right? So it's almost like infinite theory or the string theory, or right. There could be potentially infinite amounts of scenarios that are happening just like this. You know what I mean? So it's like something out there. I think Anyway, it's crazy and hard to conceptualize.
It's so hard to conceptualize, and I think really not the purpose. That's not right. But a lot of humans as a species, we love stories. We find a lot of meaning in stories, whether it's about your football team that won or whether it's about Jesus. It's all the same general outline. That's this is I'm going to tell you a story and it's going to inspire you to do a thing. Whatever that thing is after that, whether it's buy a baseball jersey or go to church,
Right.
I mean, that's how.
Right.
But that's how information is passed down from lineage.
Yeah, we're very
pre-technology. Computer, all that stuff. It's the only way you learned and passed on stuff was by storytellers.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how it works. So
it's programmed into our brains to be emotionally connected to stories. Right.
Yeah.
Dude, it's wild. I mean,
that was my brain blowing up.
Yeah. I love it. Well, you talk about, how you were raised. And for me, I follow the Hubble telescope on Instagram. I've been off Instagram for a while right now. I have my own things I'm dealing with health-wise and stuff in my own personal life, but I can't help but see some of those pictures and get a little emotional.
Totally.
And it makes me kind of think back on my faith, wow, there's something out. It makes you really start digging deep. You're like, dude, this is it's so beautiful. It's so mesmerizing. It's bigger than what we can kind of even comprehend at times.
Oh, easily.
When you see those pictures and there's just the beauty of the stars exploding and the gases in there, and you're just like, what in the heck is going on here? Has that ever played into your faith or other people that when they start digging really deep into this aerospace and doing things you know what, there's a bigger thing happening than just me right now.
Totally. There's definitely a lot of people that I've met in the industry that are just atheists because they're just there's nothing. It's all math and science and that's what I'm here to do and whatever. But there's plenty of people in the industry that go down that rabbit hole where they're just how do I conceptualize what I'm doing and the knowledge that I have with something that's really less quantitative and far more feeling emotion. Yeah. This is real to me because it's how I feel about this thing.
Right.
And it's the experiences and the emotions that I've had surrounding that. Right.
Yeah.
So definitely, there's so many people that I know, at least in my generation, there's a lot of people that they're not doing aerospace engineering for money. They're not in the startup world of aerospace for the money. They're if you ask any single one of them, they'll be I need to pay more. They're doing it because it's just something they're just so passionate about. They're just it's just something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. It's I very rarely run into someone my job or colleagues that work at in at other companies that are just I'm just I don't really know. I'm just here to figure it out. And it's very rare.
Yeah.
But you did 10 years of school. You know,
Yeah.
I would feel like if you're
Sorry, I just had PTSD. When you
no,
said that.
no, but what I'm saying is like if you're, you know, if you're that smart, because it takes a certain type of person to be able to complete that, regardless if you were passionate about it or not. I would imagine around year 7, you'd be like, what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so once you get to that point, and then it's like, it's not just the school, it's the internships, it's the understanding, you know, like you were saying, like, you're not signing up to this because you're going to feel like you're going to ball out. I mean, maybe, hopefully, one day. You know what I mean? But the passion is what's driving you. Right?
Totally.
So, and that, I mean, that's just, it's kind of, I don't know, when you meet someone that's like that, you know, it like kind of opens up that perspective of like, there's a lot of people like you that all work together that are probably going to take over the world one day. You know what I mean? Because you're going to figure it out. You have the mathematics for that, you know. But no, it's really, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like mind-boggling a little bit, and then just hearing the stuff that you're working on or have worked on, you know, that kind of deal. But yeah, I was kind of thinking like you were going to say like, oh, everyone in this industry is atheist. You know what I mean? Just and not. I don't mean that as a dig or anything in a negative manner. I just think that like when you reach a certain level of that type of like knowledge base, you're probably very much the thought process is that like if I can't compute it, it's not there. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like on a very basic level.
Totally. You could
know?
totally go down that rabbit hole like very easily.
Right? You're just like, look, man, like I get it, but it doesn't make sense to me, right?
I also think it's okay, especially when with these like less quantitative conversations when you're talking more feeling, emotion, or how you were raised and like all that stuff. It's okay to say like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think that needs to be a bit more normalized, especially in like religion as a whole, is being like, I have no idea. You know, but like I'm still here to like try to figure it out and like see what that means to me.
Oh, for sure.
Like
to be determined.
The best thing that I learned doing aerospace engineering in general and working on the things that I'm working on is you don't know everything, and it's okay to be wrong. My mantra that I have literally told like my bosses in the past and everything is just like, I'm often wrong. Like I'll present something of any whatever I'm working on or anything and be like, yeah, this is what my thoughts, but I'm often wrong. And they always get a little chuckle out of it or whatever. But like that's okay. You know, as long as I had this experience, my first engineering internships ever. I was working for a small solar panel company in Maryland, which is where I'm from originally. And it was my first engineering internship. And I was like, I know all this. Like I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be great. And I didn't know everything, obviously. And I was working on a design for just layout of some solar panels on the roof of a residential home. And I had to redo the design from my boss at the time, like several times. And it was like beating me down. And my boss could obviously see I was like, I think it was times 7 where I was just like like very much, like he could see in the way that I was acting that it was just like, he is not doing good right now. And my boss gave me the best piece of advice. I have some of the best piece of advice I've ever gotten, which is the solar panels aren't on the roof yet. Make as many mistakes as you want, as long as when they go on the roof, it's right.
Wow.
And so I think a lot of people can be definitely like afraid of failure and all that, but like I fail all the time. As long as you can figure it out, whatever that problem is, right? Whether it's engineering or technical or not, you know, like it's okay.
Up, dude. I mean, I think a lot of people, like you said, are afraid of failure, but I think failure teaches you a lot. Just because you fail doesn't mean you are a failure.
Totally.
You can learn from that. You can pick yourself up, regather, rethink something, do it a different way, and it can make you into something better. You know, I think, and that's why, at least for me, I'm not afraid to try new things.
Totally.
I don't mind failing at something.
Yeah.
You know, you get to see what you're kind of made of and what's for you or maybe what's not for you.
Totally.
Or if you want it bad enough, you'll regroup and work harder and change your game plan. You know?
For sure.
And I think that holds people back. Fear and failure. On the other side of fear and failure is probably a lot of success.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't know. You just got to keep going, you know?
Absolutely.
So I'm really glad you brought that up. That's
Yeah,
man.
Dude, I didn't want to stop you because like you're going. Right there. No, dude, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And I hope someone that's listening can take that to heart. And like,
Totally.
you know, I know we're just sitting here bullshit and whatnot, but like, I feel like that problem affects so many people, and a lot, I think, in the next generation of people, right? So like these younger kids coming out of high school or going into high school, going into college, things like that, that they, it's like, because I know that like anxiety disorders, other things is at all-time high, right? All over the world. This is not like we're not unique here just in California. But I think that is because, you kind of tie into this, like this, you're afraid to fail. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And whether that's the driving factor that doesn't want to make you take the extra effort to not only one, try, but two, learn and try to succeed or fail and then re-engage, right? And I think that needs to be more pushed, because it's like, look, no one's perfect. Let's get past that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, even Elon Musk, I'm sure, has had many failures, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, tons, but that's the thing is that it's like, if you paralyze yourself to the point of you're just afraid in general to not take the next step, or maybe it's something that you're passionate about, or hey, you have a great idea, or hey, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to school for 10 years and be a rocket propulsion expert, I don't know if that's your job title, but you know what I'm saying? But like, and that's the thing, and people need to hear that shit. Yeah. So anyways, that was my soapbox, but thank you.
No, yeah, man.
For sharing that. I think that's cool.
It's like, yeah, I wish someone had told me that when I was going through things. And also I went to school for 10 years and did all that, and we've already been through that, but like I wasn't right all the time. Like my path changed as I went through it, and like rolling with the punches is probably not the best way to put it, but like I always had like my eye on the end goal, and I was like, okay, like maybe I'll diverge here and do something a little different.
I love it.
Like when I got into my dual master's program, excuse me, I like needed to get it paid for. And so I was like, I will do any research that exists under the mechanical engineering umbrella to like get it paid for, like anything. And I started doing biomechanical engineering research just because it was available and they needed help. And so I was like, great, tuition paid for, sweet. I don't know how to do this yet.
Right.
I'll try.
Yeah.
And it was like that Tony Stark meme from the Avengers where it's like, when did you become an expert in thermonuclear astrophysics? And he goes, last night. Like it was like that vibe. But I was like, all right, this isn't what I expected to do. I didn't want to do this type of research, but like, I don't know, see where it goes.
Yeah.
And I met so many incredible people doing it. I learned so much by doing it. And it's crazy because now I have a published paper
That's right.
like that has to do with like tempomandibular joint replacements, which is like not what I do for work at all.
That's in our podcast.
But
First person published.
Yeah.
but like I never thought it was going to lead that direction, and I was able to like use that experience to be like, okay, yeah, like this isn't aerospace engineering, but like I'm learning all of these tools so that I can apply to the eventual thing that I'm going to do.
Right. It's making you a well-rounded person.
Yeah.
It may not be where you want to be now, but
Totally.
I like what you said. Like you had an end goal.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things, at least I know for Jordan and I in the career that we're in now, we know what our end goal was, but there's a lot of things you got to do before that you don't want to do, and that you get paid terrible. You're volunteering, but it's a means to an end. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to make you a better firefighter or paramedic or whatever it's going to be for your future. And I know a lot of people who don't want to do that. They want to be the CEO instantly.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just not how it works, man.
No.
Like everyone eats a crap sandwich. You're going to start at the bottom. It doesn't matter what degree you have, how smart you think you are. When you get into the workforce, into the career that you want to go to, you're at the bottom. Welcome to life, man. It sucks. We've all been there. And I think right now it's in that fast food society. Everyone's like, well, I got my, master's and PhD. I should be the number one. It's like, bro.
It's like, shut up.
How much you get my coffee?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Hey, the best way to get through a crap sandwich is take big bites.
Yeah.
My man.
Ring that bell.
I don't know if that's a thing, but it felt like the right thing to say.
No, totally. And like, yeah, it's I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. I still don't know what I'm doing. I still get projects today that and I still expect to get projects way far in the future where it's like, I don't know how to do this at all. Okay, well, what are my tools? How can I figure out how to start?
Right.
And then you just go step by step, and you solve a lot of small problems to solve the bigger problems.
Yes.
Right?
And I like what you said, because at least I'm sure these two can attest to it for me, but I always tell people, at least the ones that know me real well, if there is no way, I'll freaking make a way.
Yeah,
I will find a way to get something done. Whether that means I need to start over, drop a relationship, friends, whatever it may be, I will do what I got to do to get to my end goal.
Yeah.
To get to where I need to be. And I don't think people are willing to make those sacrifices. And you have to. I mean, life ebbs and flows, man. It's kind of like you said, you got to roll the punches.
Yeah.
And sometimes life will slap you in the face.
Yeah.
And it will hold you down, and you're going to want to feel like you want to quit. And I know, again, I've had times where I've talked to Jordan and Sam. I'm just like, dude, life is a bitch right now.
Yeah.
And it fucking sucks. And it's like, I just need a second. Okay, I'm just going to take a step back. I'm going to take a breath here. I'm going to regather myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to start over, and I'm going to push forward. I can't. It's almost like I want to say is like, no matter what, you can't freaking quit. You cannot give up.
Yeah.
If you have a goal and things you want to do in your life, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
You got to push and you got to fight for everything you want in this life. You have to. You have no freaking choice. Nothing will be handed to you.
No.
Absolutely zero will be handed to you.
I was trying to time the ending with the perfect.
I was like, I saw the hand come up.
I know. I was like, what's he doing over there?
No, it was really good, dude. It was super inspirational.
No, I'm just, I mean, that's
you're
just
right,
to say. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, I see it a lot, and it's everything I have that I own, and the things that I do, from this podcast to other things that I have, was work or my home. I've had to earn every bit of it.
Totally.
Every freaking ounce of what I have, it was not given to me.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm seeing so much of people, I don't know if it's generational. I sound like an old man. Well, a new generation where it's like, well, they want everything handed to them. That's not how it works, man.
There's like going back to what you were saying about like being at the bottom, and people just like don't want to be there. They want to go straight to CEO. There's two ways you can handle being at the bottom. You can either be that way, which is like, I don't deserve to be here. Like, I am smart enough, or I've done the work enough. Or you could take the other way, which is like, all right, there's probably so many more things for me to learn. Let's start.
Right.
You know, let's start and figure it out.
I like that.
Oh, who do I need to talk to? All right, I'm going to talk to them. I don't know how to solve this problem. That's fine. Figure it out by the person who does.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
I like it, dude. So, okay, because we're almost running out of time, but is there the rockets or whatever you're working on right now? Is that to go to, I don't know the best way to put it, into outer space a certain amount?
Yeah.
Like to the moon or to Mars, or
so it's a low Earth orbit.
What is considered low Earth orbit?
400 kilometers.
Oh my God! Can we do that in feet?
Do you divide by 2 or times it by 2?
I still use a calculator, man. I don't know that mental math.
I was like, are we in Europe right now?
It's up there.
It's so the International Space Station is at 200 kilometers.
Oh, that's
Ish.
okay. That's good to know. Okay, that puts it in perspective. 200-ish.
Yeah. So
4,000?
400.
400.
Yeah.
Okay.
So down twice the height of the ISS. But it's a range. So it goes between 400 and like 800-ish kilometers, and then that's low Earth orbit, and there's also mid Earth orbit, and then there's geostationary orbit, and it's just higher up as you go.
Okay.
But primarily small satellites and payloads into low Earth orbit. Yeah.
Okay. What now? Okay, so the International Space Station is 200 kilometers, and you're putting resources 400 kilometers. Right? Is that what you're saying? Like satellites?
Satellites and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so satellites, are they above the International Space Station?
Yeah. So, but some aren't. There's some that that exist in the realm of the ISS as well.
Okay.
So it's a little bit taller than the ISS, a little bit higher than the ISS. And yeah, it's everything from communication type stuff to scientific payloads and all that good stuff. So.
And then so companies will contract you out to put that into orbit.
Be like, hey, we have this satellite.
Okay.
We need a school bus to take it there. You happen to have a very powerful school bus. Like,
Yeah.
Can we use it? Can we buy this launch from you on the bus.
Now, I would imagine there's got to be some serious insurance, right, for that company in case something malfunctions, right?
The whole launch insurance industry is bananas.
Guys, we found our next business.
It's crazy.
I was going to say that. I was
Do you have $60 million to insure flights?
Hey, I sure don't. But where there's a will, there's a way, baby. Well, we're going to take a lot of loans.
We're going to make it work, dude. I'm going to have to sell my body.
So I wanted to ask you, just because on the propulsion thing, so like over the past, I don't know, maybe 6 months, there was like talks of like hypersonic missiles.
Yeah.
And I don't know, as a casual, reader of that. I mean, it interests me. I just assumed that it's like just really fast.
Yeah.
But what like, I don't. Is there a way to describe like what is there? Is there a different setup? What are they? Fuel they use, the way that's built. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. So everything kind of breaks down when you start going not just faster than the speed of sound, but like much faster than the speed of sound. One of those things is kind of like how rocket engines, a primary thing of how rocket engines work. So, if you ever use a hose and you like pinch the end of the hose, the water will come faster out of the hose.
Yeah. So
that's normally what happens during subsonic conditions. Okay. So subsonic just means slower than the speed of sound. But faster than the speed of sound, that flips. So if you were to, put your thumb in front of on a water hose that the water was flowing faster than the speed of sound, it actually slows it down. And that's like a key principle of when you see a rocket engine, you see like there's a certain diameter and then it like goes down to a point and then it spreads back out. All it's doing is that explosion that's happening in the thrust chamber of the engine is going faster than the speed of sound because it's an explosion.
Wow.
And they just essentially pinch it down to an annulus point, and then that slows it down to perfect speed of sound condition, so it's steady and controllable. And that's all the nozzle's doing when it shoots it out. Right.
Wow.
And so to answer your question about hypersonics is like essentially engines are designed completely differently. At least like there's like ramjet engines and like things that like have very little moving parts because all they have to do is like the entire engine is based on geometry, and like bringing airflow into the engine, impinging it onto a point, and then expanding it again, and then impinging it again, and expanding it again, and then adding fuel and more spark to it, and then you can produce something that has so much power that can get it to that hypersonic condition, or you could just have a solid rocket engine and it will get you there.
Okay.
But like, there's different ways to do it. But hypersonics is essentially like it's like 4 to 7 times the speed of sound.
Okay.
So it's like
crazy fast.
it's bananas.
There was some article talking about it was either China or somebody had shot one, and whether it was China. Yeah. I know. I'm trying to play aloof to this, but it was. But the article was about that supposedly they had shot one that had went around the Earth, and that we may or may not have picked up that there was one shot, that whether it went over the United States or didn't, but it was just that we didn't detect it. But then it was like
it's going very fast.
Yeah, but that was like the first part. Then it was like backtrack. It's like, well, we actually knew about it. We just don't want to make it public, which is very well plausible. Yeah. But I just like when you start getting into this type of speed, it's like, what's the breaking point? I mean, if they can get to hypersonic, so faster than the speed of sound, I mean, is there any logical explanation that we can get close to the speed of light?
So you can get hypothetically very close to the speed of light over a long period of time if you're in a vacuum, i.e. space. Gotcha. So there's nothing in space to slow you down like there is here, like with air, there's friction and all that. So you can put something in space and it doesn't have to be like a large amount of energy. Newton's second law, every action, equal opposite reaction. If you just have a small engine that's like very efficient at burning fuel that can burn for an infinite amount of time, it'll like constantly accelerate that object, and you can get very, 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 very close to the speed of light, hypothetically. But you would need to do it over such a long period of time that it would be like, it would take lifetimes for it to get that fast.
So for it to even get to the point, let's say it is in a vacuum, for it to reach that point, it would just take
just takes a
years or something
with
crazy.
current technology. Like we essentially there would be like an ion engine situation, which is like not typical rocket propulsion. And I don't deal with that stuff. I'm very unfamiliar with that technology, but it's something that's super efficient that doesn't put out that much thrust, but can burn forever.
Okay, well, I'm assuming that has to be something into play when talking about like trying to make it to Mars, right? Or like, that I mean the rover's there, right? But like, I don't know. You hear the talks of like, it's like who's it gonna be the first, to get you get people there, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like how long does that take? I mean, was it months, right?
6 to 9 months.
Okay, so to have something that could burn that efficiently with the payload of people and everything that goes with it to sustain some sort of stay there.
But then you got to come back.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Anyone's coming back, Tim.
Oh, that's a one-way mission?
So one and done. You're going for it.
So that problem is actually way more of like an orbital mechanics problem than it is like a physical distance problem.
Oh, okay.
So it's like way more based on timing than it is based on like the distance itself.
Wow.
So like Mars is here and Earth is here, and so you want to launch when they're really close together. But if Mars is here and Earth is here, obviously that's way farther away. But you don't just you don't go through the sun. It's like a circular path,
right, to go out and around to hit your destination.
Use the gravity of the sun to get there, essentially.
Yeah. What movie was that? Matt Damon, dude?
I was just gonna say. It was a Matt Damon.
The Martian. The
Martian. Yeah, I saw it on
Great
TV, dude.
He made potatoes out of poop.
What'd they say? They freaking slung around the Earth. What are they?
Oh yeah, that's
that
all.
Was
all the
that
math.
real?
All that movie is accurate. All the math in that movie is accurate.
That is real.
The writer, because my buddy was working in Northrop Grumman at the time.
Oh my! I thought that
and
was
the writer
bullshit.
of that book came to Northrop Grumman here in South Bay and was like, "I want to double check all of this."
For the movie.
Yeah, for the movie. Or for the book that they made into
So
the
slingshotting around the Earth is like a legit thing.
Yeah, that's real. It's a gravity assist, yeah.
Sam, what in the world?
All that's real.
Wow. I think Sam actually had a question for you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, a couple things. I've been shaking just like listening to you, bro. This is so dope. First of all,
thanks,
your
man.
shirt. I wanted to bring that up. We're talking about aerospace. we have to highlight that, man.
I love it, dude.
This is what I wear to work.
I love it. I love it. And then what I love is like you were talking about the people that you work with and how a lot of them, it can be atheists. And what's crazy is that the math and the science that they use to get to their atheism, being able to develop that math and science also can explain why there can be something else out there.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a dichotomy between, atheism and then the argument for God. Just inside of because how many people, like Jordan was saying, how many people can really say that, they stuck with aerospace, they stuck with, all that? Because it's intense and it's hard. It's a lot of math and a lot of physics, so if you can stick with that, then you are, of course, in the top, I don't know how much % of people that can do that, so of course you're going to be like, it's all about math and science. That's all that exists. But the fact that you can get to the point where you are, also can explain why there also may be something else and there may be a God. I just love that, thinking about that. How it goes both ways. Yeah, bro. Yeah, so it's dope.
Frank, dude. Great conversation tonight, guys.
I'm like, I have so many questions. I really do.
You have to have me on again, man.
Paul, where's Paul?
Real quick, I got to know, at least from your perspective.
Yeah.
What, like, in that industry, or let's just say in space, technology, advancement, things like that, what are you the maybe not what are you the most excited to see? What do you think we'll be capable of? Like maybe let's say 30 years out, right? Like attainable future where we'll still be alive, hopefully, to see this, kind of, we invented this or we can do this.
Specifically within my industry or just in general?
If you want to answer from your industry perspective, totally. Sure. I've been thinking what could we get to, right?
Yeah. That's an awesome question. I think we'll definitely, I think we will have a permanent scientific outpost on the moon. Sick. I think that's very doable. I think the technology to do that does exist. It's just a matter of doing it. And it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and a lot of.
It's going to be a pretty big price tag.
Yeah. The ISS is trillions of dollars. Trillions. It's like every astronaut that goes up there, every minute of their time up there, if you boil it down to every engineer they had to pay to design it, and all the time that all the shuttle launches that took to build it, and so on and so forth, it's $30,000 a minute for each astronaut.
Oh man.
Nuts. Anyway, so yes,
insurance company's going to cover it. Don't worry.
But I think also we'll see people walk on Mars. I think that is something that's very. I think it's attainable. Whether we will have like a permanent outpost there, I think, in terms of like people are going there and staying for the rest of their lives. I think that is possible. Wow. I think that the problem that we run into there is like us as a species have a hard time conceptually being like, yeah, I'm just going to go. Right. And like we've done in the past, right? Columbus and all the people who came to the Americas did, I guess, the same thing. Right. But so I guess there is a group of people that would be like, yeah, let's do that. But I think the technological infrastructure to maintain like a full-blown society, peaceful society, like on Mars, that's where we start running into less technical problems, more ethical problems of like, well, is there law there? Is there, how do we create a justice system there? And like, what's international waters? And like, you start going down that rabbit hole. And so I think there's a lot of infrastructure that has to be built around the idea. I think it's technologically possible, though.
I think it's safe to say that if a colony landed on Mars, they're branching off. They're going to end up doing their own thing.
Probably.
I mean, like, that happened in the Americas, and that was over some bullshit tax. I could imagine trying to govern
They're going to do a tea party on Mars.
Yeah, I was like, we're 9 months of light speed travel away, so suck it.
Yeah,
we're going to do what we want over here. So I guess just send good people.
And even harder, too, it's like the conversation is delayed, too. So it's around a 30-minute round trip. If I want to send a message to NASA from Mars, it takes around 15 minutes to get here. And then they have to send the message back, and it takes another 15 minutes back.
Wow.
And so you have to like have conversations. You're kind of like already on your own in a way.
But you get it in 15 minutes from Mars? That's the
com
time
delay.
Travel?
Yeah.
Okay, why do I not get service then? When I go, because I'm going to tell you this, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? I get
AT&T, man. I don't know.
I'm just saying, if we could talk to someone on Mars, I could be fucking 3 hours into
There's
the
a couple
desert.
rovers there. Maybe we can figure that out.
Right? I'm like, I don't buy it, Verizon. Bullshit. No, I have Sprint.
You're saying I can get a message from Mars, but I can't fucking send a text message from a mountain? Like, what's
hours?
up, man?
I mean, hours you won't get. It says no service, period.
You know what is wild? I know we're running out of time, but what is wild about not getting a mess, like not being able to text from a mountain? I had no service. I was on top of Angel's Landing in Zion, and I had no service, rightfully so. And I got a phone call, and I was like, this isn't possible. And it was Disney World. The mouse can reach you everywhere, is what I'm saying.
They got you, bro.
They were like, we're calling about your lightsaber purchase. We have it here. It's repaired. We're going to send it to you.
The fact that you bought a lightsaber just freaking makes my night, dude.
I have 5 of them. It's a lot.
I was going to say, what kind did you get?
I have Ahsoka Tano's. I have Anakin's, Mace Windu's, and Luke Skywalker's.
All right.
And whenever the power goes out, they're great night lights.
You gotta come back on here.
Seth, you're part of the family now, bro.
Yeah, man.
You're in, dude.
Hell yeah.
I freaking love it, man. Well, Seth, we actually got a couple questions for you before we start that. This is for you, my friend.
Thanks so much. Wow, this is awesome. Oh, my God.
We have a shirt, some stickers. We also have a challenge coin for you. If you look on the back of the challenge coin, it says the 2 most important days of your life. The day you were born, the day you find out why.
That's awesome.
Wow. You, my friend.
That is really cool, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on here, dude. Really do.
Thank you so
glad
much.
That Kim introduced us to you.
Yeah.
Or me to you, and now
and
you
vice versa
else.
too. So happy I met you guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like I said. I'm sorry. I'm starting to stutter because I have too many things going through my brain at once. No, there's just a lot of really cool information and stuff we can chat longer about. But for the questions, we pull them out of at random.
Sweet.
First one, really. Do you like sports?
Kinda.
So this will be kind of dumb. So it just says, would you rather be an NFL star or a Major League Baseball star?
Probably Major League Baseball because you don't get a hit, and I like my brain the way it is.
You gotta, we gotta protect that noggin, bro. You got a lot going on up there.
I think we should protect your noggin.
Oh, this whole bag of bones?
Yeah, I was like, I feel like
It's just a bag of milk.
I can
up
take
there,
a couple hits, Doug. I'll be all right. I'll get in front of you for you. Now, okay, yeah, I feel like it's
Probably do. Yeah, probably
Baseball.
MLB.
I'd be totally
Yeah,
doing
baseball, I think.
Yeah, dude.
Baseball.
All right.
All day.
If you can be homeless in any city, where would you choose?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It'd have to be somewhere warm,
Yeah.
you know?
Definitely not L.A. It's already a freaking trash hole, dude.
No. Not Los Angeles.
happening.
I'd probably pick... here's the thing. I don't know if you guys are big Florida fans. I lived there for 9 years. I'm not a huge Florida guy.
Flow rider.
Not my thing. But there's a lot of cool there's a lot of like little small towns in Florida that like are warm all year round that aren't Miami. That are just like, that would be pretty chill if I was a homeless person. Actually, you know what? Puerto Rico. Wait, does it have to be U.S.? Can I do anywhere in the world?
Perfect.
Anywhere in the world.
I'm not doing Florida.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, the first one that popped in my head was West Palm Beach.
Yeah, well,
I thought I was like, there's probably a lot of rich
if you
people
want
that
to
feel bad.
spend $15 for a burger.
Yeah.
No, but that's true. But you'd be able to afford it as a homeless person too. I think I'd have to pick.
Sprint.
Yeah, you get you a mama phone, dude.
I think. New Zealand.
I like that.
Okay.
I do the Philippine Islands. There's a couple islands there with good surf.
Ooh,
Just chill, dude.
yeah.
So I was thinking
Make
I
it
was
work.
like mid-Pacific
Yeah.
somewhere where you
I'd
can like
disappear.
kind of live off the land and
Yeah.
be more of a hermit than a
Or
homeless
the
person.
Canary Islands off of Africa. Yeah,
but those
because
are-
it's going to be warm. There's a bunch of people with sailboats there that don't live on them all year round.
You're moving
Squat.
up. You're only going to be homeless for like 2
You
days.
just squat in a sailboat. You know.
Absolutely. Sam, what about you, dude? What are you thinking?
Yeah, man. I was first thing that came to mind was Hawaii. Just, I mean, it's right on the corner, and that's the first
a great
thing.
pick.
But yeah, all these picks are amazing. man. Oh my god.
I've
Anyway,
thought about it sometimes too. I'm like,
Right?
sell everything and just go to the Philippine Islands and disappear.
Dude.
Never see anyone again. No,
That exchange rate, baby.
Oh, dude.
Say you're definitely not going to be homeless.
No, I'm like a king, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like a king.
All right, let's see. The last one.
Last
it says, if you were taken hostage 5 years ago, what would surprise you the most about the world today?
Oh, that is a nuts question.
You don't want me to answer that one.
I was
dude.
going to say, I was like, that's super.
The frick-
5 years. So what was 5 years ago? What year was it? Was that 2017?
Yeah,
Is that 2017?
Dude,
5
pre-pandemic,
years ago?
pre-pandemic.
that was pre-print. Yeah.
Could you think about 5 years ago, Seth? And if somebody told you everything that's happened in the last 5 years to where we are now, would you believe it?
I don't think I would.
I wouldn't either.
Honestly,
I wouldn't believe it. There's no way.
that is.
Hey, dude. In
Nuts.
5 years, you guys are gonna have to be wearing masks. People are gonna lose their jobs because they're not vaccinated. And by the way, inflation's gonna go up tenfold. You're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
afford a tank of gas. Bread's gonna be like fucking $20.
Yeah.
And the house prices are all going to go skyrocket through the roof to where the average person will never be able to afford it. But you know what? Enjoy yourself. 2017, let's go.
it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a war. Yeah,
Also, yeah.
it's coming.
Fuck it. You
Class
got,
warfare. Just good for society.
Right.
You know?
yeah, we got a president crapping his pants in the Vatican. Whatever.
You know what? Who knows?
It's all good.
5 years though, I think the biggest thing that would surprise me. Oh man, that's a great question. Is it too much of a shameless plug to say myself?
No, not at all. It's deep, dude.
If you told me 5 years ago what I'd be doing now and the things I had done, and like I'd slap you in the face. I'd be like, there's no way you're gonna do all that.
No.
And I feel like it's a bit of a shameless plug, but
no, you're good. I like that.
I think I'd have to say I myself. If you told 7-year-old me, let's cycle back. If you told 7-year-old me, hey, you're gonna be building rockets professionally, like I would slap you. I'd slap that guy in the face.
You wouldn't
Oh
believe
my
it, huh?
gosh, no way, no
You know,
way.
Somebody told me that too.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, no, I was like, the question was 5 years, and then you said 7. I was
No,
like,
I will.
You went farther back.
I did.
I was like,
Time is relative.
I only had one of these, so
I'm a big math guy. All right?
No, Jordan, you're wrong.
I wasn't.
I
Gonna,
am the rocket scientist.
I wasn't gonna debate him.
Y'all are
I was
ridiculous.
just gonna roll with it.
No, five.
You are the smartest person I know.
Thanks, thank you. 5 years, 5 years genuinely, I'd have to say myself.
Dude,
Because that's when I
cool.
graduated from my undergrad. And at the
Okay.
time, I didn't, the reason why I went into my dual master's is because I didn't really get the job that I wanted. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go down this path. It feels right. It feels like the right thing to do.
Good for you. Dude.
And kind of just leaned into it. And it still took me to where I wanted to go.
Nice.
So I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised at myself. Yeah.
Dude, that's such
cheap, dude.
That's a good. I don't even know if we
I
should
think-
answer that.
Yeah, I
question.
think. Yeah, wow. You're gonna almost get me a little emotional here. If I think back 5 years ago, I wouldn't think that I'd be where I'm at now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good that's happened and a lot of bad,
Sure.
but I'm thankful for both.
Oh, yeah.
They have both taught me a lot about myself, about people I love, and it also taught me how much I can take and go through and still come out on top.
Totally.
You know, and yeah, I don't want to get too emotional here, but yeah, you think back 2017? No fucking clue you're running a podcast,
Right?
Some other things I have going on.
I had no
Like,
clue that I'd be on a podcast. What are you talking about?
the way life works out, you
Yeah.
know. And I remember someone telling me, it's like, it's good that we can't see our future because you probably wouldn't believe it.
Totally. Oh, yeah.
You'd be like, there's no way I could do that,
Yeah.
you know. So, dude,
Yeah, here, hold on.
yeah.
Dude, God, yeah, 100%. I would agree. I wouldn't. 5 years ago, yeah, no, I don't think I'd see where I'm at currently right now. You know, but I was gonna say like I just couldn't believe everyone was wearing masks. But you know,
Seth got all
So let's dive
yeah,
deeper.
but no, but you know, you're right. That's true.
Put
And
on your snorkel. We're going down.
But that's just cool. It's cool that you can look back 5 years and be like, man, that's where I was at. And here's where I'm at now. All
Yeah.
the good and bad in between.
Totally.
But all that does is just, I don't know. It should, hopefully, it puts you in like a sense of enjoyment and peace and learning and optimism for the future and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, I think that's kind of been a little bit of the back push of this podcast is, you know, your sense of like moving forward and taking the next step and,
Yeah.
and, you know, just learning,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And, yeah, no, it's, damn, that was not where I thought the question was. Sam. you're up.
Sam.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's funny. I think when you are the craziest thing that has happened, I think that's the best possible situation, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the pandemic and the mask and stuff, and then I was like, wow, man, I have grown so much. Like I'm not anywhere close to the person that I was, and it's a lot of introspection and like, oh, this is what you like, this is how you are, and these are the people that you love, you know, and they just keep all my relationships are growing. Gratitude is there. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah, I love it, man. Love it.
Damn. Well, Seth, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Dude, you are just your zeal for life, what you've done with your life, where you're going. I am just so glad to call you friend and that I know you. It's been an honor to
man.
have you on this podcast, dude. You were freaking hilarious.
Honor to be here, man.
Yeah, and dude, you're welcome here anytime, dude.
Sweet.
Honestly. Thank you so much. So you have your swag.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. If you could throw a sticker on a rocket for us, dude, that'd be sweet.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
I was like, please.
CEO of the company's going on me like,
send
I don't
that-
know what's over here, but
Yeah, I want to see that bitch on Mars, dude.
I think, yeah, dude, we just met, but I truly,
this is crazy.
I truly, hey, Taylor Swift. Wait, is that
Carly
Taylor
Rae
Swift song?
Jepsen.
Oh, okay.
Call me maybe.
Oh, yeah, right. Is that? It wasn't a Taylor Swift song. My bad. Anyway, this is not pop culture. No, dude. Thank you for sharing all that good stuff.
Yeah, man.
You know, and I hope that when people listen to it, it is inspirational, and to hear like, you know, I was like, you can do what you want with your
Absolutely.
life, and I think you're a great example of that. And I honestly,
man.
I really look forward to. I hope you come back on because
I would love to. Let's
I was
do
like,
it.
can we talk about Operation Paperclip, or is that like, am I gonna go super tinfoil hat on everybody, and then be like, oh, no, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that question. But no, man, I look forward to the next time we meet. 'Cause,
Absolutely. Same here.
I have a lot more questions.
Let's do it.
Jump into
Yeah.
this shit. But
Absolutely.
anyways, thank
Honestly,
you.
it's going to be cool because I have a new setup coming that we're going to set up soon.
No way.
So
Sweet.
that we can actually, it'd be cool to have you and Paul on here at the same time.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That going real
Paul's
good.
Paul's crazy.
That'd be super
crazy
rad,
smart.
Yeah. So thanks again for coming by. We're gonna do. Let's go on 3.
Yeah, man.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
And that's it. Thank you for listening in, everybody. We'd like to thank our sound engineer who makes this podcast happen and makes us sound very good, Stephen Clark. And to our first sponsor, 89 Barbers. Look good, feel good, be great. Come get your haircut at 2 locations, Long Beach and in Orange, California. Your appointment can be booked at 89barbers.com. That is EIGHTNINE BARBRERS. 89barbers.com. Again, look good, feel good, be great. Check it out. It's my barber. He is the man. Thanks, everybody. Bye.